Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into today's video. I'm going to have a look at weather next 8 to 10 days. In today's video, it takes us to around the 7th of September. It's the same idea that we had when we did a video on Tuesday, actually, but it looks like we're going to get winds into a northerly direction next week. So it's going to be quite a cool start to September and to the autumn. It's certainly going to feel seasonable. I think next week it will feel like we're into autumn. Probably quite a lot of dry weather. There could be some showers around early in the week, but I think the trend through next week will probably be to turn it dry, just generally rather chilly temperatures. And that could be particularly evident at night, where I wouldn't be too surprised if we get some very early season ground frost, perhaps up in the north. Well, before we get on with that, just very quickly to say about the ads, this links to articles and pages at Gazos.com, have browser widgets, any articles that you're interested in, please click through. You'll be able to go and read the article. Thanks very much for doing that. There's also video ads on most pages. I open out the content. When you watch them, they'll close back up again. Thanks so much for getting involved and doing that. I'm taking a few days off next week, so there won't be regular video updates next week. I'm hoping to keep the homepage updated with the written summary that I do in the morning, just setting the scene for the day's weather. But no videos from Monday to Friday next week. Well, I haven't said that I will have a couple of videos for Bank Holiday Monday, but I'll be putting them up sort of early in the morning on Monday. I won't be actually recording them on Monday, which is what I mean. So let's get on with the video anyway, and here we go with the 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts. We've got the ECMWF here on the top this time, and the GFS on the bottom. I'll flip them around. 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, is an area in the atmosphere where high pressure, low pressure being moved around by the jet stream. Blue extrapolates to low pressure, orange and red extrapolates to high pressure. So what both of them show is that I've got a ridge of high pressure next week out to the northwest of the country. They've both got this, and consequently they both have this quite deep trough sitting over Scandinavia. The Scandinavian autumn winter season will be setting in next week, I think, and also extending down to western parts of Russia as well. Now in between, because we've got the ridge out to northwest with trough to the east, the jet stream and the flow will be going rather like that. So we're going to be, excuse me, we're going to be pulling down some pretty cool air from the north there, actually. And the trough to the east is a bit of a troublemaker because it could provide shower, particularly in the north and the east of the country. I think the overall trend will probably be to bring this ridge in towards the country, so the risk of showers should recede through the course of the week. But the main thing is that because of the flow and because of wind direction, it's likely to be a pretty cool week coming up next week. So the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles do show this quite nicely. The red line here, thick red line, is the 30-year temperature average, and we're a bit below average even at the moment. Over the weekend we'll go a bit above average for a little while. That is associated with these precipitation spikes just here. Still a very complicated scene for the weekend, and I'll be updating one last time on the events page later on this afternoon, actually, probably around 6 o'clock, up as 5, 6 o'clock, something like that. We're doing one final update on the events page for the bank holiday weekend, see if we can try to pin it down. And incidentally, when that is out of the way later on this afternoon, the events page will go very quiet, probably until the Christmas updates begin. We have got Bonfire Night, of course, before that, but may only be an update or two for that. And there won't be much happening on the events page, can you believe, until we begin the Christmas updates, which usually start just after Bonfire Night. So just to show you how late on we're getting into the year now. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent with that. Let's get back to today's video. And the red line here, as I said, 30-year average. So we're going to be a bit above average over the weekend. But then next week we do go quite significantly below average, and for quite a prolonged period. The dates are along the bottom of the graph here, and it's not until we get to around the 7th, 8th, 9th of September that we begin to lift the temperatures back up towards the 30-year average. So that's several days next week of really quite cool weather coming up. Maybe unusually cool for the time of year, particularly evident, I would think, at night. Now, we have got precipitation spikes throughout this period, so it's not going to be a completely dry period either. I think it will probably trend towards drier conditions through the week, but it's not by any means a completely dry period. But as we go into the second week of September, maybe the precipitation spikes do come back a little bit by then. But that's a very long way off, of course, and not to be relied upon. But certainly this period where we bring down this northerly wind, it's drier compared to what we've had, but it isn't universally dry. There will still be showers coming through at times. The temperature anomaly for next week, this going from the 27th of August through to the 4th of September, is coming out cooler than average, and this encompasses the period over weekend where it does turn a bit warmer on Friday and Saturday. The rainfall anomaly, precipitation anomaly, is generally going a bit drier than average across most parts of the country, maybe significantly drier than average down in the southwest. As we've already seen, it's not a completely dry period. There will be showery bursts coming through, but it is drier next week, albeit cooler. So just running through the generic chances for GFS for Tuesday, we've got the ridge out to west, but trough is in over Scandinavia, and we are in between, pulling down the northerly winds. So that's why it's going to be pretty cool through the course of next week. If you follow the isobars back, the areas originating somewhere to the north of Scandinavia. So moving through the week, we keep that northerly wind going. It's a fairly slack flow as well, so it could well be bringing in showers, particularly to the north and the east of the country through the middle part of the week. But the trend probably is to bring this high pressure further in, but I think anywhere to the west is going to get the best of the weather next week. And if you're in the east, you will be prone to this northerly wind, you will be prone to cloud, probably prone to showers at times as well. But through the week, that high pressure should increasingly start to exert its influence from the west. So by the time we get through to day 10, Saturday 6th of September, the high pressure is actually sitting more or less over the top of the country. Then we're losing that northerly wind, so that could be turning things a bit warmer as that high pressure slips in over the country. The ECWF very similar. There's the northerly wind coming down for the start of next week within a trough, so there's probably going to be the greatest risk of showers will probably be early next week, Monday, Tuesday, and then trending towards drier conditions through the course of the week, particularly in the north, west and the west. The east may take quite a while to lose the shower risk, but eventually, by the time we go through into day 10, we should be losing that shower risk. Although even by then, the ECWF wants to keep that high pressure a little bit centred to the west, so we're still generally bringing down cool air from the north. The GM, finally, that makes a little bit more of this trough to the east, so this is probably a more showery scenario through next week. The trough is deeper and it's centred over Denmark as opposed to something like Finland. And the consequence of that is that we bring down a stronger northerly wind, and there's probably a greater risk of showers in the north and the east. Eventually that trough does clear away. It takes a long time through the course of next week, and the high pressure sort of slips in. Certainly by day 10 we are under anticyclonic conditions. The GEM is always a bit different. It's probably overdoing that trough to the east a little bit. I'd tend to go with the GFS and the ECM, which is for probably a showery start to next week, particularly. The east may stay showery well into the week. The trend should be to turn drier from the west. So by the end of next week, I would think it'll be dry pretty much everywhere, hopefully. But the temperatures are going to be the main thing for next week. It is going to be a cool week coming up. Will be particularly evident at night. I wouldn't be at all ruling out the chance of some early season ground frost through the course of next week, particularly the middle and latter stages of next week. We've got the month ahead, look ahead tomorrow with the JMA. Well, it's JMA Friday. Saturday, I'll be doing the September forecast. Reason for that is that I'm away next week, so I won't be recording any videos. I want to get that done before I go, so you'll be able to see the September month-ahead forecast on Saturday. There'll be loads of updates as well over the weekend, so keep checking back for more. Later on the events page, we'll be having one final look at the bank holiday weekend. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.